Hello everybody, welcome. Here we are one more time. Let's continue with our Henry Cavill Space Marine illustration. Let's see where we get there today. Juan, muy buenas noches. Bienvenido. Placer tenerte. Welcome. How are you doing, Juan? It's taking forever, this illustration, but since I only have the time during the streams to work on it, that's what it is. But yeah, I'm starting to feel a little bit like tired of working on it, so hopefully I can give it a push at some point. Soon I will get a break from this very stressful period of client work. So that will allow me hopefully to give a little push and finish it. So yeah, we'll see. Juan, fine here, thinking if keep drawing or give a rest to the eye and only watch the stream. Well, just do as you please, man. You've been painting a lot lately, so your hands are on fire, smoking hot. So yes, as I was saying, yeah, so hopefully I will get a little rest from well, not rest, but how do you say in English, just to it's gonna lower the high oh my goodness, I cannot speak in English today. I think it's the music that is let's just kill it. I shouldn't be using it anyway. Just put our sound of fire on the background. So yes, hopefully now this very stressful period that I had with client work, it's gonna be a little more easy. So that will open up a little bit more time, hopefully, and yeah. and hopefully also that will allow me just to finally finish the tutorial about painting space marines. But to be honest, I'm still working on it as always. As it seems to be like the very recurrent topic during the stream. But yeah, I'm happy of how things are moving and moving forward. So yeah, I'm still recording, but it's definitely moving forward, and it's very nice to see things change and moving forward. So yeah, it's a very nice feeling that finally things are, even though before still were moving forward, but it was a little bit more difficult to see that that change. So yes, and the more things move forward, the easier the work that is left it's gonna be. So that means that also things will be exponentially faster. So yeah, I'm super happy about it. I mean, my plans, and I hope that I will be able to publish the first episode in March, hopefully. So that's what I'm aiming for. Um, so yeah, hopefully that I will manage to do it in time, and it's gonna be quite crazy because I'm thinking that it's been a year and a half since I really started this idea with the tutorial of how to paint space marines. So yeah, a year and a half in the making. So which is quite crazy. But it's yeah, it's, as I mentioned many times, it's gonna be pretty a lot of content. And for some times, I don't know if I talked about this, but since it is a lot, at some point I was thinking in terms if I should do many episodes, like short videos, or just do fewer in number but longer. And at the end I decided that for the sake of clarity and making everything a little bit more easy to understand as a whole, I'm just gonna make fewer videos and longer in duration. But yeah, if I would have decided to go for shorter videos, I mean, easily I could make around, I don't know, just like this out of my head, I could say easily 50 videos or something. I mean, it's quite insane in terms of quantity. And hopefully it's quality as it is equally with quality. So yes, I cannot, as I've mentioned many times, I really cannot wait to finally share it, and that you can enjoy it, and hopefully enjoy it, and probably criticize it. I know already for a fact that there is gonna be people criticizing the series of tutorial, because well, we all know how the internet is, And since it's a very direct type of tutorial, so some people might take it as who is this person just to tell people how to do this, or or does he think that he's special, or that type of silly comments. So yeah, I'm taking that for granted that that's gonna happen, but it's fine. And I think I mentioned this also already, but Juan, I usually don't have problems with hands and back ache, but I get tired eyes and headache when I draw a lot in the PC. And bad sleeping if I do it late in the night. All right, man. Then it is then it is very clear the choice that you should go for. Just take a rest and take it easy. Banger, hi. How are you doing? I'm a little bit afraid of what's gonna be the answer with that name. But yeah, welcome to the stream. But yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, about the tutorial. What was it? Yes, that it's I think it's a pretty high level of tutorial. So it's not this type of tutorial where I'm just telling you, guiding your hand of, okay, this is how you should draw a helmet, and just go, and this is step 1 and step 2 and 3. It's not this type of tutorial, but it's a more high level. I mean, a tutorial for more high level art or artist. So it's yeah, it's more about mindset, things to have in consideration. So yeah, I'm in one hand, as I'm saying, very excited just to share it for the sake of just leaving it out there for people to enjoy it, but also pretty curious to hear what people think. From a very honest point of view. So because, as I'm saying, it's not that type of typical tutorial. So I'm very curious to see how it will be received. Another problem that challenge that I'm getting into, still I have plenty of time to see how I will manage that, but it's going to be how to title the tutorial on YouTube, because if it's about a tutorial of how to paint Space Marines, there are thousands of these type of tutorials, but how to paint miniatures, right? So not an illustration tutorial. So how to title the tutorials so it is not confused with miniature painting tutorials. Yeah, so I'm not sure how to do it. So it is aimed at the audience that are looking for illustration tutorials and not how to paint miniatures. So yeah, so I don't screw it up with the algorithm. David Luca, hi Miguel, how are you doing? How was your week? Thanks, man. Thanks for passing by and welcome to the stream. And yeah, pretty good, pretty good. Still, this week was extremely busy. A lot of work to do. So, sorry. Yeah, crazy busy. But very good overall. How about you? And also another aspect that I'm about this tutorial that since now I'm doing the recording, I'm really enjoying. So this is an opportunity to go through everything, right? Since I have to go from the very beginning to the very end, I'm recording all the episodes at the same time. And this is a great opportunity to just go through everything and just check it up and have a double opinion on it. And overall, I'm pretty happy with it. I think it's very promising, and I honestly think that I speak about very interesting things, and that I think are very useful. But of course, that's just me. So that's what I mean. That I'm very curious of what people will think once it's I release the tutorials. Banger, hermano, ¿hablas español? Sí, sí, hablo español, soy español. Hago el stream en inglés porque la gran mayoría de la gente que me sigue pues no habla español. Aunque hay muchos de habla española, pero sí. David de Luca, I recently found on your art session some of the art you did for World in Conflict Soviet Assault. They are absolutely amazing, so inspiring. How many years ago did you do that? Yes, that is a very long time ago. Yeah, more than a decade ago, if I remember correctly. So yeah, I'm not sure, but it has to be from 2008, I think. 2008 or 2009, something around there. great project, a great game, fantastic game. Yep, and that's the time when I moved to Sweden. So yeah, a long time ago. But thanks, by the way, thank you. That is very kind to say. Banger, you think so? David Luca, mine is fine. I got COVID, so I'm quarantined a bit, but it's good. I have more time for drawing and painting. Man, well, I hope that it goes very fast and easy on you. But yeah, I have plenty of people that have had it, and all have so wide, different range of experiences with it. Some people had absolutely nothing, and some others really, really, really had a very, very bad time and a very bad recovery. So yeah, and of course people that have died as well. So yeah, it is quite crazy. So yeah, man, I hope that everything goes fine and that you recover fast. And if you get any symptoms, that things go very easy. Banger, it's looking amazing, by the way. Thank you, thank you. Gracias. Genial, no sabía. Te sigo desde hace un rato, pero no sabía que eras español. Pues sí, lo soy. And sorry, Banger, that I switched to English, but so like these people that don't know Spanish, they can understand. Where are you from, if I may ask? Mars Ultor, thanks for the like. Thank you, much appreciated. Thanks for the like, Peter. Peter. Let's see. What can I do here with these Banger. All right. Good. Yeah, I always feel a little bit bad about these things. Um, but yeah, good. Happy that's not an issue. I'm from Venezuela, but living in Chile actually. Oh, nice, nice. I always become very happy when we get somebody from Latin America. I love it. What is the time there now, by the way, in Chile? Is it very early in the morning or something? Today I'm not speaking much. I don't know why. I think I'm a little bit tired today. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Also having so much fun with the class. With the course, it's such a mm, always such a pleasure talking with the students, and yeah, I love it. It's one of these things that I that before I started, I never knew I was going to enjoy so much being a teacher. Um, it's a very fulfilling experience, um, I have to say. Banger, it's 5:30. You could say late, but even last night, 5:30 in the morning. That's pretty late or early, depending on how you want to see it. So, or either you stay very late or you get up very early. Meaning you are a night person or a morning person. Seb, hola master. Well, I don't know who is the master, but hola, hola. Welcome. How are you? Aha, okay, in the afternoon, Bangor. All right, all right. Really? 5, 5:30 in the afternoon. Huh. So interesting. I thought it would be like morning. or or midday at least. Um, Noon. I mean, um, by the way, Seb, how are you doing, man? Banger. All right. So you are more a night person. I used to be a night person myself, but in the latest years, I've been forced to be a morning person. So, because I need to get up very early. Um, uh, so yeah, necessity has forced me to become a morning person. I still struggle quite a lot, to be honest, to wake up, and I have a tendency to still stay awake. But I need to force myself to go to bed. But yeah, I'm a night person, also at heart. But yeah, now I because of my son, I tend to get up at 5:36 more or less. So that's also a reason why I'm normally, when I start the stream, I already just like not on my prime. Um, but by the way, I just remembered, going back to the subject of the tutorial for how to paint Space Marines. If any of you that are listening, uh, if you are interested on it, is there? I mean, of course, it's a little bit late to make this question because I'm not gonna change. I'm just on full production now and just to release it. But I'm still curious and to see if what I have actually done is actually something that you mentioned. So I'm just curious. Is there anything that you would be interested or about the tutorial? Something that you struggle with or something? Yeah, I'm curious. So please let me know. I mean, I may still have some room to add, make some additions, but it would not be anyway like a big thing. But yeah, perhaps depending on what it is. Or maybe I can do like a bonus episode at some point with some extra stuff, in case I am not touching that subject. Matthew, thanks for the like. Thank you, thank you. Um, Seb, hey, I'm good. Having a bit of trouble with shoulder pain. I'm taking some pills and just brushing away and applying for jobs. Oh man, I'm sorry to hear. Is it because of painting? Um, something that I might be Captain Obvious here, so sorry if that is the case. But to me, the best way to, if that is the case, if it is because of painting and being on the desk all the time, the best thing to do is prevention. And So maybe it's not the best for you at this point, but yeah, having a good posture and training also as well. Training is very important to strengthen the muscles and to protect the articulations and tendons and everything. So myself, for example, I'm remembering I used to have some pain on the shoulder as well. This one, the right one, and because I used to paint separating a lot, having my tablet slightly to the right. And as soon as I moved everything to the center and I placed my arms parallel to my body and put in front, it disappeared, and I have never got pain again. So the posture is very important. At least for me. Seb, you used to be to be morning too. Well, I never been. As I'm saying, I'm a night person, but I'm forced to be morning person. But I suck at it. I Yeah, it's a constant struggle. Cantarian, hey, how are you? Evening, Miguel. Hey, everyone. The capster is coming along nicely. Thank you, man. Thank you. And like always, a pleasure having you here. Seb, with the tutorial, I would love to know if you added something related to composition for big pieces or how to properly do vignettes of the smaller pieces, like the one you done of full body Space Marines. No, not no, because that is a more illustration orientated tutorial, and this one that I'm doing is very much focused for Space Marines and nothing else. So no, but that being said, I'm still working on another tutorial that I'm doing at the same time, which is about how to do a big battle scene illustration. And it happens that I'm making Warhammer 40k inspired illustration, but the tutorial is an illustration tutorial. But yeah, so it's gonna be a separate thing, and it's gonna be, as I'm saying, focus on a big battle scene, all the aspects related to that process. So a lot about composition, a lot, yeah. But that will come later. I don't know when. Because with that one, the illustration itself is not finished. So because they take a lot of time, and that's something that I lately don't have much of it. On the other hand, now that I think about it, the final episode is a full demo of a character illustration of a space marine, and I talk about the process itself. So yeah, you could say that I touch a little bit of that when it comes to a vignette type of illustration. But again, the main focus is the space marine theme, and not the type of illustration process itself, if that makes sense. Juan Toledano, mainly how the armor pieces work with the different body movements, arms, shoulder, legs. I think this is the main dish in Space Marine drawing. Yes, I talk about that. I dedicate a big chunk of an episode talking about volumes of the Space Marine armor and what things to have in consideration of how things should be placed, and so, and again, it's not about step-by-step guide on how you draw those volumes, but more in terms of understanding what is going on with these volumes, and giving you some tools to practice on your own with those things in mind. But yeah, Space Marine armor, it's the biggest challenge, I think. Its volumes and shapes is very tricky. David De Luca, yes, same. I'm also interested in how to handle them in a bigger composition. Well, again, there will be in at some point this tutorial about a big battle scene which happens to have Space Marines in it, but it's gonna be more about the illustration process itself, and not so much about the Space Marines. Seb, damn, yeah, it's the first time I have gotten this pain. I think I need an ergotron, so I don't need to raise my hand so much. And also, exercise. I do lift weights. Okay. Yeah, that definitely helps. But I'm just saying in general, so I don't want to lecture anybody, because I'm not an expert whatsoever. But from my own experience, it's just also not just doing any type of training, but one very specifically to protect those areas that are a little bit more sensible because of the things that we do. So to strengthen the back and lower back, because we are sitting a long time, wrists, shoulders, especially back, the back part of the deltoides, because that's one of the parts that really I feel suffers, or at least that's where I got most of the pain when I got it. So it sucks. Same thing happened a little bit with the hand, and I started to have a little bit pain. Something that really helped, and And again, I can be Captain Obvious. I'm not sure. But just in case you don't know about it, I didn't know at the time. But it helped me insanely much to change the preferences of the tablet, just to put it as softer as possible. So the input is it's very sensitive. So I don't need to really push hard on the pen to make thicker lines or more opaque. That was the biggest impact into not getting pain again on my hand. So I just really can paint with the hand very, very relaxed, not making any tension. And that was a game changer. So putting it to the max in sensitivity on the settings. But going back to the tutorial, the reason why I did it a little bit more narrow in scope, the tutorial, and just focusing mainly on the Space Marine, is because I feel that that's the core thing to know how to do. Because the other thing with big scenes or anything, just we go into more general skills of illustration and composition and all these things, but overall, and the reason why I decided to do this tutorial in the first place is that I see people struggle so much to do good depictions of space marines, not only on like a more picky point of view, that, but just on the very basic fundamentals where people just don't like struggle with the volumes, with posing the space marines. So yeah, so that's why I thought it was important to kind of narrow the scope of the tutorial and I go for the for some of the basics. I think, let me see. 1 second, I'm gonna change the screen. Like this, yes. No, it's not this one. Sorry guys, just give me 1 second. This is a big file. I'm trying to find the illustration for this battle scene illustration tutorial I'm talking about. Yeah, here it is. Okay, yeah. yeah, so this is the illustration for that tutorial. So as you can see, it's Space Marines, or well, Primaris Marines. But yeah, that's gonna be a different tutorial altogether. And this is very much work in progress. So yeah, but yeah, so you get a little taste of what is to come. An illustration that, by the way, I'm really enjoying doing. But yeah, takes a lot of time to do. So yeah, I don't know when I will have time to continue. But yeah, as I was saying, this tutorial will be about focus into how to do a battle scene type of illustration. And yeah, it just happened to be with Warhammer 40k theme, but yeah. I think, yeah, there was some tests. But yeah, so that's that's what I can share. Cantabrian, man, that looks awesome. Brimming with atmosphere. Thanks, man. David DeLuca, I can't wait for that. Looks awesome. Thank you. That is very kind. Yeah, sadly, I don't know how long. When is that gonna be? Because I mean, I have so many things on my plate. So just the main Space Marine tutorial series is an insane amount of work. I have 26 full pages of script. Just so you get an idea of in terms of how much I speak. Yeah, I think it's 25 pages of script, and it's full packed. I mean, pages. So it's yeah. And now it is very much organized. So the first episode is gonna be touching the subject of context and lore to use and have in consideration when painting Space Marines as an illustrator. Very important one, and not as straightforward as people might think. But yeah, extremely important thing. So yeah, that's gonna be on the first episode. Then on the same first episode, then I talk about the basic anatomy and proportions of a Space Marine. That's for episode 1. And I calculate that I mean, all the episodes are going to be around around 1 hour long video. So yeah, it's very much in depth. So it's yeah. Then the second episode is about volumes of the Space Marine armor, and yeah, understanding it, and etc. etc. And dynamic posing for Space Marines. Things to have in consideration when when trying to pose space marines in a dynamic way. Then the third episode is gonna be about portraits or space marine faces, how to paint them, and all the things to have in mind. And that's the one that I'm recording at the moment, by the way. And then the fourth episode is gonna be a full demo where I paint from scratch a character illustration of a space marine and explain the full process and kind of as a way to illustrate all the concepts that I go through the previous episodes. So just to put it into practice. Juan Toledano, like the composition decision of placing the foreground in the sides and the background figures in the center. That you like. Okay, sorry, I didn't understand what you meant. I'm glad that you like it. It is not random choices. And that's one of the things that I will explain, right? It's like all these things are very much planned, and they are not happy accidents, but very much planned from the very, very beginning for very specific reasons and goals in mind. And that's how you should take the process itself, or at least aim at doing it that way. Of course, being always open for happy accidents, of course, but should be just happy accidents, not just relying on them. David De Luca, I love the fact that you put the lore. Well, Gad, you approved, and yes, absolutely, absolutely. It is extremely important aspect. Yes, it is. It is vital. I mean, and it's something that that it could be applied to any other type of depiction of characters or universes or anything. You really need to understand what you are trying to illustrate. If you want to do a good illustration work. So yes, I put a lot of emphasis on lore on the tutorial in every single one of the episodes, and it's kind of a recurrent motif all over the tutorial. so that's one of the things. For instance, that as I was talking on the beginning of the stream, that I'm very curious to see how people receive it, because it's not the normal thing that people, I would assume, would expect from a tutorial of this kind. That's something, for instance, that I'm just trying to recall some part of the tutorial where I mentioned that sometimes I feel that a lot of people fail and of course this could be extended to many other subjects of illustration, but in this case I'm talking about Space Marines, so I talk about Space Marines. And is that in many cases people fail at doing a good illustration of a Space Marine, sometimes not from a technical point of view, because the artist is skilled and knows his or her craft, but they don't understand the subjects that they are trying to illustrate. In this case, Space Marines. They don't get it, and therefore they fail at making a good illustration. So yes, once again, it's a absolute one of the pillars of the tutorial, and a recurring motif along the whole series. And it's funny, for example, it's something that is, I mean, I sorry if I'm if I bring this once again. I know that I'm a little bit obsessed about this subject, but this is something so true about any representation or adaptation of the 40k universe, and this is something that affects even to official stuff or license, like video games or a lot of things. Something that, by the way, I was talking the other day with Siama, the author of the Astartes series. We were talking about these type of things, of how often many of these adaptations, they just copy paste the designs and especially proportions and stuff of the miniatures when they are trying to do a realistic depiction or like believable depiction of how things could look in reality, and obviously failed at it because they don't understand that they need to adapt. One second. All right. Now I'm on daddy duties, so I need just to speak a little bit lower and be on the watch. So yes, and so linking this to what we were talking about and this from the tutorial, one aspect of this is really understanding the subject at hand. So you can be faithful to the narrative, to the original narrative intent for those fictional characters or stories or anything really. And David De Luca, exactly. I always wanted to do an illustration about 40K, but I don't know the specifics. Now I am following the channel you recommended, Lutin, to know more about 40K. Oh, fantastic. Lutin is great. The other one that I absolutely recommend, that he is also fantastic. So to me, it's these two guys. Let me just see. Give me a second. Yes. This guy, Oculus Imperia. He's absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Because looting, it's more like a discussion, right? And which I really like. So it's not just reading a text about lore. So he, yeah. And the good thing and the brilliant thing with Oculus Imperia is that he plays the role of a historian within the 40K universe, and he narrates everything as if he is a historian. So he's basically creating content from with that kind of play in mind, and it's absolutely brilliant. So yes. Diego Olascoaga. Hi, Miguel. Hello. Welcome. Welcome to the stream. Cantabrian. Oculus is one of my favorites. Yes. Yeah. As I said, mine too. Lutin and him are, for me, are the ones to go for anything 40K lore related. There is absolutely no. They are on another level to anything else on the internet, in my humble opinion. Cantabrian, he creates a lot of atmosphere, especially his narrative style. Yes, exactly. It's fantastic. So he's creating stuff. He's not just reading what somebody else has done. He's contributing in. Yeah, he's contributing, even if it's not official. But still is so high quality that it definitely should be. Once again, in my opinion. And I really appreciate people that put so much love and effort into the fandom and the community. I love it. Nice to art. Thanks for the follow. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome to the stream. Adriafro. Thanks for the follow. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome. So yes, what is this? How many Adrians there is? Adrian Wolf. Thank you. Thank you. Pablito Tau 2. Thanks. Thank you. Adrian Wolf. That marine looks awesome. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Much appreciated. Jazz Eva Art. Thanks for the follow. Adriafro. Insert Spider-Man painting each other meme. I don't get it. Sorry. Sorry, I don't get what you mean. But anyway, welcome. Welcome to the stream, as I said. Rodrigo, hola crack. Hola, bienvenido. No sé quién es el crack, pero bueno, gracias de todas maneras. Cantabrian, Miguel's stream has turned into a Lindisfarne monastery. It's getting raided by new followers. Huh. Well, I don't know. But anyway, anybody that is joining, fantastic to have you here. And yeah, you are very much welcome. So yes, as I was saying, the Oculus Imperia channel and the things that he's doing, right? So I really appreciate when people put so much effort and love and passion contributing to the fandom and to the community just for the love of it, and it's great. Of course, I think any type of fandom is always to be praised, and but there is levels, right? So it is not gonna be me talking shit about just channels that they just read literally from the books. I mean, again, everybody has a different way to to celebrate the fandom. So I think everything is very much welcome, and it should be celebrated. So, but for those that really contribute by making an effort to contributing to create things, and then with that high quality, they cannot be praised enough. And to me, the channel of Oculus Imperia is it's one of those. So yeah. If anything, I would I would say about his channel is that his avatar image for the channel is a little bit could be improved. I have actually mentioned in one of comments in one of his videos that I would be more than happy to make one for him, just to give back some love to him because he deserves it. But yeah, that's the only thing that I could. I think he hasn't seen that. So yeah, too bad. But anyway, I think he is amazing, and I really, really, really enjoy his videos. Same as with Lutin. Juancito MV, thanks for the follow. Thank you, much appreciated. Welcome to the stream. If anything, now that I'm thinking, if there is, this is a little bit going into on a tangent on this subject of fandom and on especially on YouTube. And this is something that I don't know, maybe if any of you don't do art, maybe it is difficult for you to relate to this, but I feel that most of you guys are artists, so I think you will understand what I'm gonna say now. Oh my goodness, I'm not used to this. Okomoi, thanks for the follow. Much appreciated. Welcome to the stream. So as I was saying, any type of fandom I feel that should be celebrated and praised, because, well, at the end it's just a way of appreciating the love for some universe. In this case, well, we are talking about 40K universe, right? So it is fantastic. But sometimes I am a little bit annoyed, and this is a complaint for most of YouTube channels. I know some very few ones that do attempt to do this correctly, but most of YouTube channels they don't. And this is I think honest and fair criticism on my part, and I think I can speak on behalf of all artists, and is that all YouTube channels they fill their videos with a lot of illustrations. Some of them are official art from Games Workshop, and a lot is also fan art. And they don't credit the artist, and I think that is very bad. I honestly do. I think that is a very bad thing to do. And I have heard plenty of times from many of these content creators, and that it's a lot of work. Those images are on the internet, so why should they do? And I know that this I know that this is not an opinion shared by everybody, but by all content creators on YouTube. But most of them fail at doing this right, regardless of what their opinions are. And in my humble opinion, I think that yes, I know that it might feel like a pain in the ass to have to do a little bit of research to know what type of who is the author of what image you are using in your videos. But the fact is that you are using that art for your own benefit. Could be monetary, but even if but not even that, just for the sake of gaining audience and getting audience, right? And if you are using the work of somebody else, you must credit that person. End of story. There is no way around it. And sadly, it's taken for granted, right? So it's just like there just to grab, and because of course it's very easy, right? You just copy paste a JPEG file and that's it. You don't have to worry about anything. But what the sad part is that that piece of art took a lot of time to do and effort, and yeah, it is not ethical. I mean, it's the very 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 least you can do is to credit the artist that has done that art. So yeah, I think that's the only kind of and I know I just went into a tangent, but I feel that it's important to start to be a little bit vocal about it, and I know that I haven't spoken about this, and the same thing goes with official art as well. I know that is a little bit more tricky, and funny enough, I think Games Workshop is also to blame into this, because in the latest years they do an effort to not to mention the artists that have done the art. I don't understand why. I know it's a common use among corporations, but it's definitely not ethical in my opinion. As if the artist, I'm guessing, might claim some intellectual property into that art, but that it's nonsense, because to begin with, they always make sure that that art is owned by them, by Games Workshop. So yeah. So in terms of official art, I understand that it might be very difficult to know who the artist is, because unless that artist has published himself or herself that art and said that it was done by him or her, then it's impossible to know, or unless you know that artist and can recognize the style, of course, or old art, because before they used to credit the artist on their books, right? But anyhow, so yeah, I think it's a very malpractice on the hands of fellow fun content creators on the internet, right? It's a little bit like, I mean, the thing would be very much understood, or I'm pretty sure there will be some rage on the internet if somebody, let's say me or any other somebody else, just deliberately use footage from some another content creator, and didn't even mention who the original author was of that, right? But for some strange reason, when it comes to art with illustrations, it's just taken for granted, right? And that is not ethical. You should always credit the artist, and if that means that you need to spend some hours making research and to be sure that you credit every single artist that have done any pictures that you are using in your videos, then you do it. There's no way around it, or there shouldn't be any way around it. So yeah, and I feel very strongly about this. I know I am right, but I understand as well that yeah, it means more work. It's a headache, because it's not as easy as just copy pasting an image that just looks very nice to your video, and not to worry about anything else. But it's not right. And of course, now I'm generalizing. Of course, I know some people do uh, um, make an effort giving credit to the artist of the art that they are showing on their videos. So there's still people that do the right thing, but the common or a vast majority doesn't. And big and small channels as well. So Diego, talking about the painting process, when do you decide a piece is done? For me, it's hard to say after spending many hours on something. So how do you decide to push it or stop and publish it? Well, that is a very good question. If it's client work, then it's easier because, well, you have a deadline, right? So that deadline is like the absolute uh, marker. But if it's something, a personal piece, well, it's difficult to say really. I don't have a specific rule that I follow. It's just with the time, I have got used to understanding that I'm never gonna be completely happy with anything that I do. So no matter how much extra time I spend on it, so yeah, it's a feeling that I developed through the years of finding that balance between trying to improve things and not just wasting my time yeah. So yeah, that's kind of my answer to that. I know it's not that maybe not that helpful, but yeah, that's what I can say. And sometimes it's more straightforward and more clear, and sometimes that line is a little bit more undefined and difficult to decide. Also, something that might help quite a lot is to have a clear goal with the piece that you are working. So to define very clearly on the very beginning that goal of what is it that you are trying to achieve. And at the end, it's just a basic exercise of just checking, do I feel that I have achieved that goal or not? If I have not, then I continue working until I feel that I have fulfilled that objective, that goal. So I think that might help. Juancito, good work, man. Thank you. Thank you. Cantabrian, I have seen that the lack of credit. Some do credit the artist in the video captions, but it does feel like an afterthought. Absolutely, art takes time and that doesn't get enough recognition. Yes, 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 exactly that. It is very much taken for granted, and I think it is a shame because as you very much know, it is a lot of work and time and suffering and a struggle, and that's the very very minimum that should be done, especially when it comes to fan art, right? So people do it for the art of it and they are not asking anything in exchange, so that's the absolute very least that you could do. And most of the excuses I hear about when I have heard excuses for this type of behavior is that, yeah, but I just looked at it and I couldn't find it. And it's like, well, then you didn't look enough and hard enough to 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 discover who the author was. Um, Especially now with all the tools that we have with the internet. Now you can drag a JPEG into Google Images and it will find all the images that look exactly like that or similar. So it is so easy. It is so easy to do. So if that art is on the internet, probably it's been posted by the original author. So yeah. Peter, hey, how are you, man? Welcome. David De Luca, seeing you talk about that, how do you think digital artists can protect themselves from art theft? Prints, non-credits. I know that from the moment the art is on the internet, there is little you can do. Well, yes, exactly. There is little you can do, for sure. Um, at the same time, uh, if if I mean, it depends on what we're talking about, right? Because if we're talking about fan art, then, well, fan art is just fan art, and there is little you can do. We're there's different things, right? Because art theft implies ownership of the piece, right? And and sadly, this case on artist part, sometimes many artists fail to understand that if you are doing fan art, even though you are the author of that piece, still the intellectual property belongs to the owner of the IP that you are doing the fan art. And there is no way around it. That's what it is. So you don't own it. Still doesn't mean, once again, that you shouldn't be credited, right? That's a different. That's another different part of the discussion. But then, if referring to art theft. But then, if it's your own art, it's not fan art, it's your thing, then yeah, there's little you can. You still can do many things, and of course, if it's somebody selling art of yours somewhere, then well, of course you can talk to the platform where they are doing that, and there are plenty of things that you can do, but of course the internet is very big, and there might be somebody doing that and you don't even know about it. So yes, it is a little bit tricky for sure, and especially and more to enforce that your art is protected. But sadly, that's how it is. Yeah. One thing that you can always do, but of course, it's if somebody put enough effort, they can circumvent that. But it's watermark your art. But of course, normally artists, we don't want to do that because it ruins your art, right? And part of the reason for why we want to post it on the internet is so it can be appreciated. So yeah, it is a definite tricky thing to do. But if you get to discover that somebody's selling something in any platform, then that is very normally that it's not difficult to enforce that they remove it. Now, with the NFTs, it seems that there is a lot of art theft, and that is even more tricky because there they are making a lot of money out of the work of people. So, yeah, sad. And David Luca, but still, how can you protect yourself and your art? Well, so I mean, as I'm saying, there are some few things that you can do, and still that you are never gonna be fully. I mean, mm, that doesn't mean that you cannot be um, protected in that sense. So one thing that you can do is just to watermark your art and just, for instance, but then is to basically, if you are posting anything on the internet and it's a piece of art and you are the author and the first one posting it, it's understood that you are the owner of that piece of work. So you shouldn't be, you don't need to do any specific type of legal claim just to demonstrate that you are the original author. So that is relatively easy thing to do. But it's more, at the end of the day, it's going to be more of a reactive strategy. So it's more getting to know if somebody is selling some of your art and then just do something about that. But other things that you can do, of course, is to any type of, let's say that you have prints to sell, and or well, or not even prints, but you are creating your own universe or whatever, and you're creating art for that, and you are publishing that type of art. Well, just to put, for example, very low resolution that is on the internet. So like that, you avoid people trying to use that for prints because they cannot. It's very it's not gonna. It's gonna be very bad quality. And just make available that high resolution in your shop. But as I was saying, at the end of the day, you are never fully protected, right? Because maybe somebody still buys that print and then can do a high resolution photo or something. I mean, so if anybody just spends enough time and effort, they could still do some art theft with digital art. But again, it's part of the nature of the beast. Another thing is to make disclaimers, right? To kind of to discourage any potential misuse of your art in advance. That's another thing that you can do. But going back to fan art again, it's something that you need to assume that yeah, you don't own that fan art anyway. So, and that's, for example, how I take when I do fan art myself and I put it out there. I'm fully aware that it's going to be used and taken, and probably potentially somebody might make money out of it. It's like, well, there's nothing I can do about it on the first place, and I'm doing it with the uh, free spirit of sharing, and everybody can do whatever with it anyway, because it is fun art. For instance, when I start to publish and show things of my project, then it's going to be a completely different thing, because that's going to be my own IP. This is going to be my intellectual property, and yeah, it's going to be a very different thing. But fan art, it's yeah, it's there for everybody to enjoy. But again, going back to what we were talking about, at the very least, I should be credited if somebody use it for their own gains of whatever it is. Of course, not monetary, or it shouldn't be monetary anyway, because that would be, again, that's another another discussion. But that would not be legal, as I was saying, because you don't own the rights of any fan art, but neither ethical, in my opinion. Because after all, you are, even though you are doing it, you are still using the creation of somebody else, and it is not yours, regardless of how much you like it. So yeah, but yeah, that's a completely different subject anyway. Adriafro, I mean, what you say, it's really true. I thought about it quite a few times. Yeah, regarding the crediting. Uh, I would have that if the platform put really easy to credit an artist, more people would do it. Imagine you just need to click one button to do it. Yes, for sure. I mean, once again, it is, I know it takes time and effort, but like anything in life, right? But again, I mean, the fact that it takes a little bit more time and effort doesn't excuse for not doing it, because then we wouldn't do anything in life that is hard and takes time. So yeah, but for me, when I hear that as an excuse, or it is, and I'm not saying that you are arguing with this anyway. I'm just talking in those cases where I hear that that yeah, it takes time, that they don't have time to do it, whatever. It's like, well, then don't use that image. I mean, again, it is the right thing, and not doing otherwise is wrong. As simple as that. I mean, hard is going and work on a mine, for instance, but not spending some time googling on the internet the original author of a piece that you like, and that you like so much that you want to use it on your own content. and again, I'm generalizing, and once again, I know for a fact there are content creators that they do credit or do an effort to credit the artist, but there are a minority. I mean, you never can be too careful clarifying in these days on the internet. So yes. Pontus, hey man, how are you doing? Jacob, and there is artists who make hundreds of thousands of dollars per month stealing other companies' IP, like Sakini Cham. In that case, even more bizarre because she makes porn with it. I don't know about her, but yeah, I mean, okay. So then if we go, if we jumped into that part, into this other subject, yes, it's very wrong as well. I mean, and it's something that any creative person should understand on a very basic ethical level, right? And I know that people argue like, yeah, but all these corporations, they own so much money. So what is, there is nothing wrong. And yeah, well, of course, I mean, if you have a small, I mean, even if it's thousands of dollars, that is nothing in comparison with the money that these IPs do, right? So it's just nothing in terms of monetary loss. But still, from and I'm not entering on the legal discussion because that is just straightforward. That is illegal. But without entering into that, on a ethical level, sorry. Again, I just need to be on the lookout for with my son in case he starts screaming, crying. So yeah, on an ethical level, it is wrong, regardless if it's a big corporation or is a independent artist. You should not do it because it's not right. It is not yours to sell and make money from somebody else's work. And there's even another twist to this argument, right? Because like, okay, so yeah, you say, yeah, these the legal owner of the intellectual property is this corporation. Like, yeah, but it wasn't the corporation who did it. It was an artist under contract that created this character or whatever that might be for this corporation. So shouldn't that, following that argument that okay, the corporation shouldn't own that, it's and it doesn't matter if I do money on the side, is like, then shouldn't that artist that really was the creator of that character be the one getting that money? Because then he's the not legal owner perhaps, but at least from an ethical point of view, the one that should own that money, but not you. I don't know. I think it's I mean, it is definitely wrong, and a lot of people don't understand it. Adriano, yeah, I get it, but could be a good improvement in art sharing platforms. Oh, yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, what you mentioned, yeah, totally agree. That's a great idea, for sure. Yes. I mean, obviously, that would be a very a nice way to solve this issue, right? From a practical level. So the lazy people that don't want to spend that extra time and effort doing it, then they wouldn't have an excuse not doing it. Sergio Ponce, Miguel, do you think that when we are learning the fundamentals, we must do much more studies than finish illustrations? Well, it depends on what you are trying to practice. So I think it depends. And I don't know exactly what you mean with finished illustrations. So yeah, I don't know. I think it depends. If you are, I don't know. I think that doing more focus exercises, focusing into some specific, can be extremely useful for learning fundamentals, because you don't need to worry about anything else than that specific fundamental, right? So if you are doing an exercise to practice, let's say, I don't know, perspective, uh, and you don't need to go through the whole finish the image to do, like you say, a finished illustration. And yeah, and then it's very practical and useful, because yeah, you can do more and just focus on that. But at the same time, in some cases, it can be also beneficial also to go through the whole to the very end. So it depends of what you are trying to achieve, and your goals. So yeah, it depends. Um, so I don't know. Since we are talking in so general terms, I would say mm, maybe the thing is having a balance. So doing a little bit of both. Focus exercises into some specifics and not care about anything else, and then still put all those learned fundamentals into one full render illustration from time to time, and to see and to put it to the test, so to speak. Jacob, sorry if I went to a crazy topic. Well, not at all. uh, I think my comment on YouTube did not show up. Uh, how you doing, Miguel? Well, I'm not sure. I think it did, right? But yeah, pretty good. A little bit tired. Too much work lately, but very good. How about you, Jacob? How are you doing? David De Lucas. So, for instance, if you have a fan art commission, you should also pay the owner of the IP, because sometimes I see artists that do private commissions of an IP and get paid regularly. Yeah, this is a tricky part. So, okay, I can share with you my opinion, but this is just an opinion. So, yeah, I don't know. And it's a very gray area. So, for me, in general terms, making money out of an IP that is not yours, it's wrong. But that being said, doing a private commission as if it's something circumstantial, something that just happened, uh, For 1 second. All right, we're fine. uh, I think it's fine if, let's say, um, well, you are an artist, you're a private person, and a private person comes and tell you, well, look, I just want you to make a portrait of my nephew or my niece. And yeah, it's just two private persons that they decide to make. It's a private arrangement between them, right? So uh, so I think private commissions falls a little bit into that, and then it's fine. The problem when I start to see that it can become a problem is when you are creating a business model out of it by doing private commissions of IPs. Then you're starting to enter a territory that is not okay, I think. So yes, it's a little bit a gray area. At the same time, I'm not judging anybody, so I can understand that maybe people have their own reasons for doing whatever they do, and it's not me to tell people what they should or they should not be doing. So, but in general, I think is not morally correct, regardless of your motives. I would not judge, but it is not right, I think. But again, it is gray area. Again, so I mean, if you are making, let's say, also doing, how do you say, marketing as a business thing of doing private commissions for a known IP, then you are definitely on the wrong, because you have a clear business model using an IP that you don't own. So yeah, but a private commission, and if it's something that you are not seeking publicly, and just a random private person just asking you to do something that they like, then well, I think it is okay. So yeah, it is tricky, and it's difficult. It's one of those things that it's difficult to speak in general terms because it is tricky. So I think it's one of those cases where each case need to be looked at independently, and yeah, in order to have a good opinion into it. So yeah, that's where I stand. And now I'm just speculating, and I'm not talking about anybody. I'm just completely speculating, but I can understand why some people fall into that trap, right? Because, well, of course, making fan art of Batman, I guess it can be very lucrative. Uh, lu- um, and then it's kind of easy money than if you are doing your own characters that nobody knows about. Um, because there is a market, right? So again, you are taking profit out of an IP and or what that IP is, and it's just not yours to profit from. But yeah, I can understand why some people might fall into that trap. And then if of course making a living out as an artist can be a real struggle, and I understand. And yeah, so but again, doesn't change the fact that it's not in my humble opinion, I don't think is ethical to do. Because let's say, well, as I want to create my own IP with my own about the Space Pirates project and everything, I can tell you I wouldn't be happy if somebody random. I mean, let's say that fingers crossed that this project of mine becomes a success, and whatever success is, but yeah, that it's successful. Then I discovered that somebody is making money out of it. I would be pissed. I wouldn't be happy because it is a lot of hard work, sacrifices, and if and yeah, a lot of effort and hard work. And it's somebody that is just in that case I would feel is a parasite. It's just mm, taking profit of my own work, and it's not right. Of course, when people do that is because since those IPs are owned by big corporations, so it feels more morally acceptable just to uh, to do that art theft from a big corporation. Uh, but but the principle is still the same. And if you don't want, so that's what I mean, that us creative people should be the first ones to understand that. And as it tend to happen from time to time, that an artist start to denounce that somebody's using their fan art to I mean, on the first place they are doing money with that fan art, and then they claim that somebody is stealing their art to on the side and making money out of it, and they denounce that that is wrong to do. It's like, well, but that's exactly what you are doing. Yes, to a big corporation, but still, and I'm and also, I mean, I'm not a big fan of big corporations, I have to say, but still, yes. I don't want to be appearing here or sound like I'm the defensor of big corporations. Nothing farther from the truth, but yeah. Cantabrian, it's been good to check in, Miguel. We'll catch up again next week. Have a good one, Cantabrian. Always a pleasure having you here. Take care. Oh, and I have to, and I'm already too late. I have to, I have to finish the stream now. Let me just catch up with the chat, and then I will. Sadly, I will have to stop the stream because I need to go to sleep. Again, going back to that, I'm forced to be a morning person. I will probably wake up at 5:30 or 6. So yeah. Jacob, to clarify and for context, I think Patreon is a legal loophole where you don't sell the fan art itself. You give it for free to people who technically donate money to you. It's bizarre. Yes, I agree. I mean, that's what I mean, that it's a little bit difficult generalizing, right? Because maybe there could be some wrong use of, let's say, Patreon with some clear intent of finding a loophole into all of these. So yeah, it would depend, and it would need to be looked case by case. But I agree. I think in the case of Patreon, it is not so-called a business, and yes, so I I don't agree. For example, if yeah, I myself, I mean, again, in this case, I'm just can speak about my own opinion. I think in the case of Patreon, it's like you are saying, and I think that is fine. You are not selling it. You are just doing it for the pleasure of it, and if it happens that people want to support you, so they are supporting you. So that's yeah. I think there's another misconception about what Patreon is or should be, and is they are supporting you, not even though it is through the things that you do, but it's not exactly or directly that thing, but more you, so you can do what you like to do. So yeah, you are totally correct. It's bizarre and enters a little bit of a gray zone as well. But I know what is the stance of many corporations, and is that is not right from their perspective. I think they are. It should be fine, in my opinion. But yeah, but still, yeah, it's again case by case. It is bizarre indeed, Jacob. Pontus. So, what about people doing commissions for people D&D characters? Many make a living on just that. I guess it is up to each individual company to decide. I think, yeah. Again, that's why I mean that I think it depends from case to case. Technically, from a legal point of view, as I understand, it's still not legal. From an ethical point of view, I think in that specific case, it's fine. I think. Because what is D&D character? There is not such a thing as a specific D&D character. You see what I mean? It's not like, let's say, a Space Marine that is very recognizable, and or a Mickey Mouse character, or where is very clearly something that is this character that has been used and it's famous. A D&D character, I mean, it is a setting and it's very generic and open and wide. So, and it falls into these private commissions. So it's a private person asking another private person just to do something that they like. So I think in that case it's fine, or I don't see any ethical problem there. Yeah. But I mean, isn't it this I think it's a super interesting topic, and very tricky, and yeah. But anyway, well, I will leave it there, guys. I would love to stay much longer, but again, I would be dead if I do tomorrow morning. So thanks for joining once again. Absolute pleasure, and take care, and see you next week. Well, or perhaps actually Perhaps next week I will not be streaming because I might be traveling. So we'll see. If I don't stream, I mean, I will definitely make a post on the social media just to let you know. But if not, see you next week. Take care. Thanks for joining, and yeah, have a good one. Bye.